told. My family just need all the capital, like you just read this in bold. My pad look like it came from Babylon. Raps are embedded in gold. I made this track to on purpose. It's time to really put that work in. I'm trying to send my message urgent. Catch the wave or let the surf hit you. Trying to buy my mind that bourbon. Color caddy with the earth in it. Wood grain in the surface. Riding cleaner than detergent. I want to buy my homies everything. Sharp focus with a steady aim. Staying focused through the petty things. Since the 26th of January. Since 91, I've been ready, man. I ain't never looking left again. We ain't never getting left again. More bars and some reps to gain. Okay, here go another set of game. Raise the bar and a level laner. Screaming family over everything. Other rappers in the sexy tank. Hug the money till I suffocated. Man, Columbus really underrated. I dropped this one, got a summer tape. Part 2, here comes Sun and Shade. Bizzo rap like he the son of Shady. And after the map, I make hundreds daily. But don't mistake me, put my gun away unless you gon' betray me. Got my owner papers, now I'm owning paper. Put up a front for you perpetrators. I'm working now and they working later. I'm working later and I'm working now. Stretch the bars like I'm working out. Super fly off the surface now. Type of flow you should purchase now. But this one free like the service down. I throw the ball off the curb and clown. I stole the show, put the curtains down. Yes, Bizzo working, that's for certain now. Suit and tie and some words of power. I ain't even have to curse on now.
F-A-C.
To all my motherfucking hustlers. Shout out, this is the shout out, this is the shout out, this is the shout out, yeah, shout out to all my motherfucking hustlers. Shout out to that bitch selling pussy. Still cold, hard times overlooking. Shout out to that bitch with her own house. Speaking up, cause she still got her own mouth. Shout out to them drawn on eyebrows. Hustling don't stop, real nigga, why now? Shout out to the motherfucking homies. Listen, wait, yeah, them niggas to their own trees. As the plug for the drugs when they get low. Fuck that, nigga, gonna grow your own smoke. Look at shorty for that money that she gon' show. Sucking dick ain't getting rich, cut off her own folks. Getting money all the time, so she stay mean. No love for her, the sister streets ain't get no real cheese. She like to stay clean, so the big bands gon' rock. But when she make that sacrifice and get played, she just cry. Get high to get by, ain't no one to listen. When doves cries, there's a joy that they ain't a pigeon. But this the game, so they the same. You either buy or flip it. So continue, it's that you don't see no end to it. The sun's down, you're still working, yeah, them days long. Open your mind, can't close your eyes, that nigga headstrong. So fucked up, you train to think the right thing is wrong. So for them hustlers, them customers, just not alone. Shout out to the motherfucking niggas. Shout out to the motherfucking bitches. Shout out to the motherfucking hustlers. And shout out to them niggas getting rich. This is the shout out. This is the shout out. This is the shout out. Shout out. This is the shout out. This is the shout out. Yeah, shout out to all my motherfucking hustlers. I'm a hustler. Don't know what it's gonna take to stop. Cause when I'm running dry, I know how to make it pop. Should've listened when mama said, girl, it's getting late. I gotta get it, sorry mama, it don't resonate. She scared to lose her baby, tears running down her face. My dry your eyes, interference make me lose my place. And for that main reason, I ain't trying to lose the race. So for that main reason, I ain't gonna lose the race. Get money, stack it, roll a joint and pack it. Had to set my game up so I ain't never lacking. Yeah, I'm on track, so you will never catch me walking. Watch your own back, fucking police steady talking. And for the losers on my hip, I keep that fucking Ruger. Cause if you don't, them lame ass niggas fuck around and shoot ya. They got a bitch distracted, rob you while she fucking do ya. So for them hustling niggas and bitches, I salute ya, salute ya.
Breaking Ground Radio, it's your man DJ Swamp Thing, man. We're local and mainstream collide. We are back at it. It is Thursday. You already know what time it is. We're here in effect. You know what I mean? Finally got some warm weather, man. I hope y'all got out there to enjoy some of the nice days that we've had in the last 2 days. I know it rained a little bit today, but the sun came out again, and that's what we talking about, man. That's what we all looking for, man. Appreciate everybody that rocking with us right now, whether you're listening to us on WTMHradio.com, or if you are watching us via YouTube, we salute you. We appreciate that. Much love. We got my homegirl Tiffany L dropping in a minute. She has some last minute things to do, but she will be here. You know what I mean? We got wins and fails. We got Tips Take. You already know we're going to be talking a little Kanye. We still going to be talking about some other stuff that's going on today too, as well as our special guest. If you're following me on Instagram at Swamp Thing DJ, you already know what I'm talking about. Definitely a friend of the radio show. We're going to introduce him in a little bit. He just dropped a new project. To be honest, I was lucky enough and blessed and privileged enough to check out the actual listening event. Definitely something to see or something to hear. And we're gonna get into it. We're gonna dig deep a little bit because there was some things on there. There was some language on there. You know what I mean? That definitely sparked some conversation. You know what I mean? So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna continue, and we got Whitney Chanel in the building, of course. Table for One stand up. She's here as well. So that just makes it better. The more the merrier. That's how we do it. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna roll one joint real quick, and then we're gonna get into the homie. Like I said, I'm gonna just keep that silent. You should have been watching on Instagram. You know what I'm talking about. If not, we'll make sure we get into it. And yeah, so that's it. That's how we rock. You know what I mean? That's how we rock. We're going to get into Real Thing. Make sure you check out the video interview that was done with Real Thing, featuring Sam Rothstein, Cassius Keys, and King Ja. You can see that right now on MidwestFreeDJs.com. You can check out the video. You can look at some content. You can read some quotes. And yeah, it goes down. All right? Let's go.
You turn it up. I've been riding smoke coming out the sunroof, man, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. I got shows going up in and out of state, man, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. I got flows running circles round most in the game, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. When you get the love on the road home, don't feel the same, that's a real thing. Hey, I got women getting mad because they ain't getting close, that's a real thing. This is real thing. I see the ones that work the least always be doing the most. That's a real thing. It's a struggle when I post. I got too much to promote. That's a real thing. These rappers known in the city, but outside they a ghost. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. Like, man, I be really making plays like running backs, DJs running back, so I'm really getting played. We really surfing on a different wave. We really working more efficient ways. We really in the house party like we didn't play. They really run their mouth off, but ain't got shit to say. I really think about quitting some days, and then I quit because I think about the shit I really get to say. I've been riding smoke coming out the sunroof, man, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. I got shows going up in and out of state, man, that's a real thing. I got flows running circles round most in the game, that's a real thing. When you get the love on the road home, don't feel the same, that's a real thing. Hey, I got women getting mad because they ain't getting close, that's a real thing. I see the ones that work the least always be doing the most, that's a real thing. It's a struggle when I post, I got too much to promote, that's a real thing. These rappers known in the city, but outside they a ghost, that's a real thing.
I've been looking for the real thing, past the pop a pill phase, drinking on a numb pain. I've been trying to shoot my shot, can't find the gun, range goes nearly in range, bang bang, squad goes, what the fuck it is, man, smoking like it's horse pipe, drinking like a fish now. Home told me I'm the shit, guess that's why they pissed now. Cooking up praise, I just flick the wrist, water whip now. Lights in the rear view, but I won't slow down. I've been on my own, so I've been thinking. While we live our whole life for the weekend. What you amounting to, why you peeking? Money talking, but your heart is speaking. Cushions my aroma, I be freaking.
Oh, there we go.
On edge, start about even life no longer suck, they y'all be leeching.
I've been riding smoke coming out the sunroof, man, that's a real thing. I got shows going up in and out of state, man, that's a real thing. I got flows running circles around most in the game, that's a real thing. When you get the love on the road, home don't feel the same, that's a real thing. Hey, I got women getting mad because they ain't getting close, that's a real thing. I see the ones that work the least always be doing the most, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. It's a struggle when I post, I got too much to promote, that's a real thing. These rappers known in the city, but outside they a ghost, that's a real thing.
1800, it's a real thing. King job, baby, I'm a real king. Shorty, I take you at school, walk you down to the office, sign your ass up for drill team. Come here. Shit bag, baby, it's a real thing. Check the conglomerate, it's a real team. I'm at work like my name's Sam Ross. Ask Cash, we got the keys to the city, man. Set up, we about to start a whole group. Start shooting smoke coming out the sunroof. Bad bitties with ass titties and some intellect. We money getters that never tolerate disrespect. Ghost, don't try to knock me cause you not me, and when you try to copy it sound sloppy as usual. It ain't gon' make me, ain't gon' break me, and maybe make you look shady and sorta like you just hate me cause you ain't me little bitch. Ray laugh sound like I'm outer space, 2 cups in extended cake with a laser on it at the table, sitting with a space chicken on my dinner plate. Sauce, baby, that's a real thing. I got my apron on, come and kiss the real king. I'm no sleep with the hustle, use music like muscle, flex up because I'm living the real thing. Network, push your network. Best way to do that, get a check first. Red rum like Rach, hit your neck first. Got this game full of queens, better check it first. OH or 10, we up next first. Sex game by the hit, we on deck first. Ask London where we headed for the next turn. Baby, I'm just trying to see you make your leg work.
Smoke coming out the sunroof, rain, that's a real thing. I got shows going up in and out of state, man, that's a real thing. I got flows running circles around most in the game, that's a real thing. When you get the love on the road, home don't feel the same, that's a real thing. Hey, I got women getting mad.
Breaking Ground Radio, World Local and Main Street Club, we back at it. It's your man DJ Swamp Thing, man. My sister radio co-host, the best hostess with the mostest, Tiffany L is in the building. We're here rocking out. Yeah, I mean, what's good?
Sorry, Friday people. I apologize for being late.
Good. We held it down.
Appreciate
for you.
That as always.
It's all good. Whitney Chanel's in the back table for one, standing up, taking pics. So we got the homie in here, man, making noise. Just dropped a project called To Be Honest. We were talking a little bit off air about his return to Columbus because he was living in Kentucky for a while. So we were talking about his return and just how the people that he met when he met them. Obviously, he has the long history and relationship with Fresh Fly, who's also a friend of the show. But I was blessed enough and privileged enough to meet him pretty much when he touched down, and we've been rocking with each other ever since. So I'm definitely privileged to have him here, and we are honored as Breaking Ground to have him want to share his new project with us. So without further ado, the homie Deuce. What's up? In the building.
What's good?
What's good with you, man?
Listen, man, honestly, I think sometimes you be too modest, bro. You were the first.
You told me
the first DJ, bro. The first show I did, bro. You DJ'd my first set, and I was so nervous, bro. But you made it sound so good, so that was definitely big love to you, bro. You was the first radio show I was on when I got back.
No doubt.
And it's been more than love, man. Like really, like some family type stuff, man. In terms of just how much support you've shown me, man. You showed up last Sunday. Project actually doesn't come out till June 2nd, but I just wanted people to hear. I forgot to say that at the party.
Okay.
I forgot to say that at the party. So a lot of people like, yo, when is it coming out next week? Because it's supposed to come out May 2nd. And I just decided against it. I was like, man, you know what? We're going to wait a little bit longer, get a couple more ducks in a row. But I just wanted people to hear. I was excited, and I wanted to share that moment with people. So shout out to everybody who came, man. Shout out to Bladen. Shout out to 129 Studios for hosting, man. It was crazy.
No doubt, man, for sure, man. So get into it a little bit, man. Like we said off air, man, you definitely took some risks, which were good risks in my opinion. And I know you say you were nervous about a song in particular. But just get into it before we get that specific. Just get into the project as a whole and just tell everybody what the concept is all about. What why are you talking about what you're talking about in this project?
So the project is called To Be Honest, Growing Pains. The last project was called To Be Honest, Stories of a Kid. I think the reason that I did To Be Honest, Growing Pains was because, you know, I used to think growing pains was a physical thing when you think of pain, but really it's just the things that everybody goes through. And so, you know, I just was kind of telling the things that I was going through. And, you know, growing pains you think happens like when you're 15, 16, but like people really don't realize that jump at like 23, 24, and then like real adulthood. Like it's like, all right, some people were still living with their parents. Like me, I was in college and stuff, like, you feel me? So it was like, all right, man, this is an adult, you know, but you really ain't had adult problems yet. And so when I finally like hit the real world, it was just a shock to me, man. It showed me how much I had to grow. And so this project kind of just documents all those things. It's really reflective, introspective. But like I always tell people, it's not conscious music, it's cognitive music. So it's also reflecting my surroundings. You know, I can go back now as an adult and kind of break things down a little bit differently, different relationships. Just different situations. Look at them like, oh, this is what this was, or that's what that was. So, you know, it's just something I feel like I had to do. I feel like a lot of people don't feel like. What I realized is that a lot of people go through the same stuff, and you just never know until you tell somebody. So what I'm hoping with this project is like people hear it, and the people can connect with it, and like, yo, I feel like this too, and you know,
no doubt.
No, it's cool. I was like, can you hear my mic? Can everybody
I hear you. Yeah, now there I go. Now I'm good. Yeah, we're not to get that fixed before next week. Yeah, man. So what I like about you as an artist, man, is, you know, not only are you able to tell stories through the music, but you know, you kind of have an old soul. I don't know if you heard that before, as it pertains to your delivery, because a lot of the tracks, a lot of the beats are more underground hip hop or boom bap, and your delivery is kind of the same way, versus what everybody is used to right now, which is the trap and the mumble and everything. So was that something that was the more real hip hop, boom bap is something that you were just always into? Was that you automatically adapted to that, or is that on purpose, just to try and be different? Or over the both?
Honestly, man, I always knew that I wanted to be, I guess what people would say, quote unquote lyricist. I think that's why when I was like first started rapping, everything was so technical. So every word was like boom, boom, boom. And did you see how I rhyme this with that? But people was listening to the music like, this makes no sense. Like, everything's rhyming, but what does this have to do with anything? So I had to dial that back a little bit to where, like you said, the storytelling was getting a lot more to where it's like, yo, it's a message, but it's being put to you in a way that you can understand with a couple tricky words and that stuff like that, but for the most part, pretty understandable stories. Like when I made the project, I wanted to be a story, and I wanted to be pretty linear and people to understand it. So it was good that hopefully now, as I've matured as an artist, it's not so much about being able to do every single trick with your words and stuff like that. It's about making stories and pushing an ideal. And I don't know, man, you know, it has some boom bap on there. It definitely does. It has some samples on there that are pretty dope that kind of, you know, went back Frank Sinatra, Charmaine, Donna Summer's Radio, you know, so we got those both sampled on the project. But really, man, it's just, I guess, what I gravitated to. You know, I didn't even know what boom bap was until my producer told me. He's like, yo, this is called boom bap. I said, I like it when the drums hit like this. And boom bap, bro. Like that.
Definitely, man, definitely. So I'm gonna, I had the songs lined up from before. I know we just for everybody's FYI. I mean, we were supposed to have Deuce. Was it last week?
Yes.
I think it was last week. But so I do have. I know it wasn't part of the list you sent, but I do have Kids from My Side, and I know that's on the project.
Yeah, for sure.
If I can play that, I'll do that, and then we'll get it, and then we can definitely get the other two going.
Oh, definitely, yeah, for sure.
Well, so before we do that, just talk about what that song is, what that meant, what this song means to you, because I know it represents, you know, growing up. It represents the hood, represents, you know, where you're from, the neighborhood, and what side of town. So just kind of break down the overall concept.
So from my side, literally, it was just I don't know, because the way it started out technically, or not technically, but really, it was called Kids From Outside, and it was detailing 3 different stories. So it was like my story, then a story from a female's point of view, then a story from like a young male's point of view. So I decided just to make it a little more personal. So, and then it's actually funny how the hook came together, because the hook used to say, you know, we was kids, you know, east side, north side, and west side, and it gets the south side at the end. But I was actually up in an event up north, and this is when I first got back, and all these north side rappers was rapping. I felt like they was well represented, but I was like, man, what about the south side? So I made it, you know, a point just to change all of it, just, you know, we were south side. And I think that's how the song kind of took shape, man. You know, my brothers and sisters get mad. They're like, you snitching. I'm like, bro, ain't nobody. That ain't right. That ain't what it is. Well, it's not what it is. You know, some people say, you know, when I made it, I was kind of maybe in a little bit of a darker mindset. You know, I was just telling a story. By the time I got done telling the story, like you said, with age, I was able to see the beauty in it. People were like, bro, this is nostalgia. It just makes me feel adolescence. It makes me feel my younger years. It makes me feel so. Definitely. You know, my brother, when I was playing it for me, said, bro, this is literally us. You know, so shout out to my barber, Jesse, because he said the same thing. He had the project. He said, bro, this is a representation of not just dope music, but of people from Columbus, especially kids from the South Side, man. So we definitely going to jump into that, man. Shout out to Doc on the production.
All right, no doubt. So here's all the juice, man. We're going to get into the joint real quick. We'll be right back. It's Breaking Ground Radio, man.
Progress is a process. I've been known to work on projects. I get caught up in my concepts, still pulling at my conscience. Still wonder if they stealing flows, snatching niggas' content. And if it's for $1, nigga known to do some nonsense. Nigga rob that nigga sell. There's nothing they could tell us. Pass us to them schools. Real world, nigga, they gon' fell us shit. Music make us slaves. $10, they gon' sell us. We made it in the house and yet they locked us in the cellar. It's cool, I got a hole in my ceiling. Don't know how I'm feeling. Try to take what's mine and I'm killing. Label the villain, but my mom, she got like 9 other children. So we allegiant to the dream, bitch. I pledge my allegiance. Yeah, this my season. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. In the house, no smoking endo, sister crack a bedroom window. This is more than simple highs, blood to hit a new crescendo. We was kids stuck in limbo, pick a locker, pick a pencil. My brother loved his art, couple times he drew his pistol in the pocket. Them white crystals, man, them jewels with simple tools. We ain't need no Jamie Foxx to start breaking all the rules. Give me 12 months of April just to keep these niggas full. Tryna pay my daddy back for all them extra shifts he pulled, but we was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. This division, no, stay like figure four to the liquor store. Kick back where that shit get pulled. I don't want no more. Devil want my soul. He won't get it though. Nights of sleeping on the floor. Days of waking up this cold. That was just a phase. Cut it out like fades. Head and turn to gray, cause where we stay, that's just how we play. Cause of how we live. Doing what we did. We was kids, man. They thinking that they know us. Bitch, there ain't no script. We was acting like the grown-ups. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, south side. Progress is a process. I've been known to work on projects. I get caught up in my concepts, still pulling at my conscience. Still wonder if they stealing flows, snatching niggas' content. And if it's for $1, nigga known to do some nonsense. Nigga rob that nigga sell. There's nothing they could tell us. Pass us through them schools. Real world, nigga, they gon' fell us shit. Music make us slaves. $10, they gon' sell us. We made it in the house and yet they locked us in the cellar. It's cool, I got a hole in my ceiling. Don't know how I'm feeling. Try to take what's mine and I'm killing. Label the villain, but my mom, she got like 9 other children. So we allegiant to the dream, bitch. I pledge my allegiance. Yeah, this my season. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside. We was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside. In the house, no smoking endo. Sister crack a bedroom window. This is more than simple highs. Blood to hit a new crescendo. We was kids stuck in limbo. Pick a locker, pick a pencil. My brother loved his art. Couple times he drew his pistol in the pocket. Them white crystals, man, them jewels with simple tools. We ain't need no Jamie Foxx to start breaking all the rules. Give me 12 months of April just to keep these niggas full. Trying to pay my daddy back for all them extra shifts he pulled. But we was rolling, we was vibing, we was kids, Southside.
All right, so we got plenty going on on the internet, the news, everything. First of all, I just saw this today. Did y'all hear about Lauryn Hill live at the Apollo? Did you hear about that? So she goes to the Apollo. Can we hear her? Can you hear? She goes to the Apollo and they air the music for X Factor, and she starts singing the song, and then the DJ starts to put in the cut for Drake's piece for Nice for What. Come to find out, listen to this. It doesn't sound like she okayed the sample at all, because she was pissed. And she was like, basically, nah, let me show you what this music is really about. Like, this music was like, you used to listen to me when you was young, and so like, don't disrespect it. Like, this song was made for this, that, and the third. Yeah, she was heated.
Hey, isn't she sampled on Draft Day though? Isn't that
so? I thought it was because I thought you had to get permission in order to I thought they had to, so like it seemed very surprising, because that doesn't seem like something Drake would do. Like, that seemed too messy.
That definitely seems like something Drake would do. That sounds like a quintessential. Listen, I grew up loving Drake. Drake is one of the reasons I rap. But Drake be on petty, like, behind the back weird. Yeah, definitely.
Don't break my heart.
No, legit, bro. The way I just watch Drake move, and Drake is definitely that guy that's like cool with everybody, so he's not really cool with no. You know what I mean? Like, there's some, you can't be cool with everybody. Like, people can like you and stuff like that, but at some point, if you're really about something, you're gonna run into somebody who just doesn't agree with you. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing; it's just we don't agree. But Drake just seems like whatever the wave is, that's what he's going to do. So,
listen, this is what she said. She said, this is X Factor. He took a sample. My shit is classic. Here's an example of how we nice it up on the rhythm. Stop acting like you didn't grow up singing my songs. I swooped down on this bitch like I had wings on my arms.
Well, she needs to just calm down.
She went hard in the paint.
She definitely needs to calm down.
But the other thing remember we talked about this like a couple weeks ago. She's about to go on tour. So I wonder if this is a reason to drum up some drama. Like, I don't know, somebody had a little talk like, hey, make it dramatic, whatever, because that was pretty surprising to me.
Yeah, one or two things. Either, like you said, it's about drama, or maybe somebody in her camp was like, bet you can use the sample, pay us the money, and maybe she just hasn't got around to see the paperwork. Like, yeah, somebody's like, bet you can use the sample, give us $500,000.
But it's all over the radio. It's all over the radio.
It's hard for me to believe that Drake just stole it.
Yeah, he definitely had
to me, it seems too messy, especially after what happened with Pharrell and that whole song. Not happy, but the one that he did with Robin Thicke. Remember that? That was such a scandal. It was all in the news, blurred lines. Like that was such a scandal, and everybody was like, "Oh, look, they really did take it," and they were trying to play like they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seemed, I don't know. You
should be able to ask permission. You need to go and ask permission to use a sample from somebody else's song. So if I find it harder to believe that she hasn't heard it before than I do Drake not getting permission. I believe he didn't get permission.
What?
But I don't believe Lauren never heard it before that night. Like that's where I find it harder. You can't be that much in especially you're an icon in the music industry. I would imagine you hear a lot of shit that maybe we don't even ever get to hear. So but regardless, he should ask. He should definitely ask.
So needless to say, he has yet to respond. This just happened like a couple days ago. So
he won't.
Yeah, it was actually on the first.
She can sue him.
She's pretty bankrupt. She was bankrupt a few years ago. She might want to go ahead and get that.
She can either sue him or he can change the song.
Yeah, because it says that song has been number one on the Hot 100 for the past 3 weeks. So, like, I don't see how she hasn't known that happened. So, I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people don't listen to radio anymore, though.
She's being extra.
Yeah, but even somebody in her camp, like you said, would have been like, hey, listen to this song.
Yeah, it's probably the person who sent it off. Like, check for everybody. Check this out. Yeah.
But I mean, like, Sean Combs or Diddy's son came out with a song that sounds like that Case song. Remember the what's that one song that was on Nutty Professor? He redid that song, Case.
Yeah, but did he ask?
I don't know.
All you gotta do is ask.
If you ask and you pay, like
9 times out of 10, they don't. There's very few artists that say no.
Because that's a way to get their song recirculated. Because a lot of times the DJ will play the original and then go into the remix. So now it almost like brings your song back up to new again.
Exactly. So I'm not the only time. I'm sorry. Let me say this real quick. The only time I can see an artist saying no is if that artist does not agree with the message of the remix.
Right. Yeah. And that would make sense.
Right. Go ahead, dude.
I was just going to say, I'm definitely a hypocrite, though, because my project had samples all over it. That's why we couldn't put it up on, I can't remember how we wanted to put it up on, but it was like, yeah, but we didn't clear none of these samples. But at the same
that guy too?
Listen, I'm not. Because I'm about to say it's a mixtape, so it's like, yo, it's an EP. I'm not selling it for money, though, so it's not like I'm not making any financial gain. It's just artistic expression. So before somebody be like, yo, don't you got some samples in your project? I do, but I'm not making no nice money off of it.
They were, because you remember when Lil Wayne used to have the squad. Yep, that was nothing but simple.
And he still does that now with what's the name of it now?
Dedications, bro.
Dedications, it's the same thing.
Squad, I love Squad 5. Y'all remember that?
It could be. I mean, it could be a mixture of both. Now, when you talk about somebody like Wayne or even somebody like Drake, who is an icon in their own right now as far as music, maybe they don't have to jump through so many hoops to do that.
Like I said, they just went to the record company
because it's a mixtape. I'm sure that's different. Which I'm surprised, because if it's a mixtape, then that means it's not going through the business channels of mainstream radio, right? Yeah. So with that being said, there's no money in the middle between that. It's all free. It's all freelance, basically.
Yeah, you see a lot of artists do that, man. You see a lot of artists do stuff like I don't know, man. Like Chance the Rapper had a song he left off of Color and Book, but I had definitely samples Living Single. And it's a dope song, but he just couldn't make no money off of it. So after Color and Book came out, he was like, all right, bet. And here's an extra song I couldn't play because I'm pretty sure a lot of stuff gets caught up in like that black and white gray area.
Yeah, definitely.
Stuff that you
probably don't know. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know.
That's crazy. Was that a win or a fail? Let's see.
That was just.
I know, but if we had to put it in a How do we put that? Is that
win for Drake?
Is that just neutral? Huh?
Win for Drake.
Is that a win for Drake? Well, yeah. Song-wise, it definitely is a win for Drake. I think it's a win for Lauryn Hill, too.
It's not too late for
I don't
her
think
to
she's tripping. You think she's tripping? I don't think she's tripping.
I think she just needs to calm down. She can get to her concert sometimes, so be quiet.
I mean, that is a classic song.
She's been canceling her shows.
That whole project.
She only has one album. She's living off of this one album. Like, just chill.
Lauryn Hill's like 50 bucks.
It was one of the greatest albums of all time.
Yes, it's one of the best. It's one of the very few albums that you can put in and play from start to finish. There are very few that you can do that without skipping a song.
I feel like artists damn near the definition of neo soul.
Even her interludes are funny and awesome and like.
No, she only had one album, so yes, you can say that's a classic album, but she never followed it up. So you don't know if it would have went over into the next one.
Yeah, that's like Michael Jordan winning one ring and then stopping.
Yeah, but you can't.
It doesn't take away the hard work and the talent that it takes.
No, it definitely doesn't. Right, that's what I'm saying. You can't follow up the artist for having one. If you have one successful album.
If you recall, she had a baby, and that was what Zion was all about. That whole song, and so she did put her career on hold. Now. What happened since then? I don't know. Maybe family drama.
She decided to just give it up.
She was with Drake alone. She was with old boy. What's the old boy's name? You know, her baby's dad.
Oh,
one of the
Surprise. Was it no?
No. One of the
Marleys.
One of the Marleys.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Damien. It was Damien. Yeah, and he messed her life all up. I think she crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think she's going crazy. You know, men make you crazy, but keeping on this Drake movement. So Rihanna was just posing for the June issue that is yet to come out of Vogue magazine, and they brought up what her relationship was with Drake. And I don't know what's happened, transpired since in their relationship, because I mean they used to be cool and he talked about her all the time and yada yada yada, but she said we don't have a friendship now, but we're not enemies either. It is what it is.
I mean, they're regular people. That happens to a lot of people.
No, absolutely, but I'm just wondering what happened.
Stuff cools off. She had a man last year, life goes on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was cool, and as he does his own thing, she's probably doing her own thing, and she's
so they dated officially.
It was never.
It was always
I think Rihanna always said that they never officially dated.
Drake
was the one. Drake was super thirsty over her.
Yeah, they said Drake, like, they said the nail in the coffin was, I guess, like the VMA speech or something like that.
He tried to get that kiss, and she
right, and that's kind of what they brought up. They said the VMAs is such a fan-focused award show, so having that energy around me and knowing the people who have received awards in the past made it feel like a big deal. Waiting through that speech was probably the most uncomfortable part. I don't like too many compliments. I don't like to be put on blast.
Here's my thing, though.
But yeah,
women kill me, though, because it's like, if y'all don't yell, say, if men don't compliment you, then it's like, oh, he don't care. But there's such thing as like, I hate when girls say guys are too nice.
No, these are those new age millennials.
All right, since you brought it up, I'm going to go ahead and speak to my portion of that. I don't care for too many compliments in a row. In a situation where like it makes you feel like everybody's staring at you. Also,
so compliments in the crowd or just compliments too?
Yeah. Like if you tell me privately, I really appreciated what you did, yada yada yada, and you cut it like that, then I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. But then if you continue and then you continue, then I'm waiting for the what's next. What's the drum roll leading up to? What is it that you want? And that's just a common woman's fear. I think that, you're being nice to me for what? You're saying nice things for what?
Me, I like them. Compliment me, I have no problem with it. Shoot.
All day, every day.
I give him compliments too. I compliment him.
I like the way you brush your teeth. Babe.
I mean, okay.
I like the way you put your shirt on. Babe,
that's that puppy love shit. That'll die down.
That still do that. The ones that say that they don't want men to compliment them and all that stuff, those are millennials. You know, they're so rough. Like they're the shivery. They don't like people open the doors for them. They don't like.
Well, we just talked about that yesterday.
I don't open the door and drive the car and pump the gas and take the trash down for all.
You have to. Women are not. Women these days, or millennials, or how you call them. They don't let men be men.
Not at all.
They don't. Even some of the older women don't let men be men because of some of the distractions or the comments about being too nice or giving a compliment and stuff like that. Like, because it's like, okay, you got the gray line. The gray line is you want a man that's going to compliment you and make you feel good and do all of that, but you don't want it too much. So do you want it or you not want it? Because if you don't want it, then the conversation will turn to, you never say anything nice to me. How come you don't ever say nothing? I dress for you, I get my hair done, but you don't ever say shit. So it's like, you know, we're almost stuck in the crossroads about how do we approach the lady that we love or that we like.
Case by case, how you, the women that you're dealing with. Because like me, like I said, like I like that stuff. My dudes, I expect that stuff from them.
I'll say this, like twofold. First thing is, like anybody, I don't know, as a man, if you've ever been infatuated with a woman, like some women just take your breath away. Like she's beautiful, she's smart, she got that, I don't know if I can say the word on the radio, but she got that pussy.
Oh, wow.
I know
that's not what I thought.
I know to me neither. I didn't know he was going to say that. I know. I was going to say that. I thought you were going to say that.
That's what I'm saying. Then when you got like the box, like the booty is nice, but if the box is trash, the box is like you got like the best box and you cook good and you look good. I'm gonna be like, babe, I love you.
Well, this already sounds like love, though. If you hit and y'all doing stuff together and you talking about her personality, how smart she are, that's completely different. We want you to compliment the woman that you're with, and you should. But it's completely different when you randomly like talking to this chick and that chick and this chick and this chick and this chick, and all you have is, oh, you just so beautiful. Oh, yeah.
I get that. I agree with you on that. If that's what you're talking about, then man, calm down, because that's just thirsty. We already know what you after, bro. You know what I mean?
think that's when women talk about compliments that are too much. I think that's what they're talking about.
No, some women you just can't be nice to, bro. Like legit, you be nice to them, bro. It's just like, bro, like you be like, I think you beautiful, and
don't.
Instagram, you like niggas be 30 minutes.
Those are bad. Look at her Instagram. Look at those chicks who probably have a lot of people in her DMs and her inbox saying, "Oh, look at my dick."
Which is exactly why I stopped doing that.
I get tons of inboxes. If ever like I click yes to somebody being my friend, I like look at the mutual friends. Oh, we got 300 friends. All right, word. I probably know somebody for real that you're talking about. So I'll click yes. As soon as I click yes, they're in my inbox. Hey, girl. And so I'll ignore it because if you take the time to go to my page, you'll see that I'm happily in a relationship. You should see every photo is me.
It's not a guy thing at all.
Never happens.
Anytime I hear that, I'm always like girl sliding with me. Yeah, like I'm always thrown back when I hear that come up conversations. People really do that?
Yes, and they'll be like, and you know, like you can do that wave thing. I get those all the time, and like you can see how I've not responded 6, 7, 8 times, and this will go on for a month. Like they were just like, I'm gonna try out today on a Tuesday and see what she's feeling like. Like, nah, make it the same. Ignore that you got this time.
I've only got like 2 passes at me, bro. Like.
Really? Like, I don't know. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. That's not a dude. That is not a male issue.
I bet if you take a photo like this Killmonger photo, this photo shoot that he did with Issa Rae, like I slid in somebody's ass and get a DM then because he looks fine as hell.
Listen, I be trying to be cute, bro. And I get like a DM. I'm like, oh, bro, who DM me? My brother's like, bro, you look stupid, bro. I'm mad corny out here, bro. This boy got titties like that. So I'm like, it's like, bro, I tried my first trap, they don't work.
That's so damn. First of all, that's so damn impersonal, though. Like, you like, what kind of coward are you that you got to slide in somebody's personal message thing and say hi and try to spark a conversation off of thin air? If you I don't even, at this point, when it comes to that, I don't even care if you're just trying to hit. If you just trying to hit, then find out where she be at. Go hit an event she gonna be at. And say, well, I follow you on Instagram.
That's what you want to do.
At least be real. So be 100% real. Instead of going on DM trying to send subliminal messages, and she might happen to respond and say, what's up? And then you gotta do this long conversation and answer all these questions, get all these questions answered, and see if she's feeling you. And you just trying to, like, come on, man.
This guy's in my DM today, and he's like, he keeps writing in my inbox. He's like, I love you. You know I love you, right? I love you. I love you. I love you. No,
dude. So
that's whack. I'm saying it. That's
she has
whack.
creepy people when you go live for your own show and they be like, hey, do you see me? Hello. And I'd be like, oh my God, are they even listening to the damn topic? Like,
whack.
What a loser. Like, I'd be getting so annoyed, like, for you.
That's whack, fellas. That's whack. I'm saying that shit. That's whack.
That's it. I don't never get no DMs. I don't never get. I swear on my mom, bro, I don't get no DMs.
Terrible.
I don't. But my phone, I hate it too, bro, because you be talking to a girl and you DM her and y'all getting a nice little conversation going, and then you get the late night DM. You know, oh yeah, there we go. And be your bro on some stupidness, posting a dumb meme, and I just be mad. I'll just be mad.
All my DMs is damn near business. I don't think there's no casual conversation at all.
I do a little business.
None.
I do a lot of business in my DMs. My homie was just like, bro, he said, I don't even call you no more. If I need to get a hold of you, I just hit you in your DMs on Instagram because you always on Instagram. I literally look at my phone, let it ring, and then text somebody back on Instagram like that, bro.
What else you got, Tiffany? I like this. Let's keep the ball rolling. What else can we talk about?
Well, that's one of my wins. Beyonce just recently launched a vegan. Oh, I hate her. I haven't even said the damn trending topic.
Go ahead. I can't say boo to Beyonce. I don't dislike.
It's not even that, you assholes. Beyonce just launched a new app. It's a vegan app to promote her plant-based diet. As y'all seen from Coachella, she just popped them babies out looking real fine again. It's not on accident. She is on a plant-based diet, as we all should be. Her new app is called 22 Day Nutrition, and it's a vegan delivery service. So it's much like all those little apps where you can they send you the food, Blue Apron and all those, whatever, they send you the food through the mail, and it has thousands of recipes that you can customize according to your diet, your allergies, your health goals, and it even includes a grocery list. And I say, rock on Beyonce. She about to help all her little bee fans or beehives or whatever them people are called live a healthier lifestyle.
She's using her influence for good.
Yes, she's losing her influence
I don't know.
Beyonce
been eating pork chops for 32 years.
And now she's giving up.
I'm just saying, bro, you from Houston. I know she made plenty of barbecue, enough for her whole lifetime. So it's cool that she going vegan.
She's definitely on that hot sauce for a while.
You gotta make life good life decisions sometime. She had her babies, and now
does she have two, right?
She has three. She has twins.
I know she gotta be hot. Like, you seen that meme where it's like your inheritance goes from 1 billion to 33 million or something like that, literally right out the gate, bro. It's
so silly.
In the 3, bro. I'd have been sorry. Right.
I'm interested to see how her fame plays out, as she ages, and new generations start coming about, because she is definitely she gets. I mean, at this point, she can damn near be put up there with the Jacksons and all this other stuff.
Can I say this about Beyonce? And people are gonna hate me. They really gonna hate me for this. But I feel like Beyonce's doing what every older artist is doing, and it doesn't feel genuine to me. I feel like she's going with a lot of the soulful Black Power movement stuff now.
In what way? What do you mean?
I just feel like, bro, I think at one point Beyonce, it wasn't like Beyonce had a theme throughout her music where it was Black consciousness. It just so happened, bro, Black consciousness got hot, and then it was Beyonce all of a sudden. I don't know. Jay-Z's transformation seems a little more genuine.
Hand down.
Okay, so I got lots to say about this. First of all, let me just start it by saying I am not a do or die Beyonce fan. I really am not. My daughter is a very, very big fan. I enjoy the majority of her songs. There are some that catch my eye, and I'm on my ear, and I'm I don't know where she came. I just heard that one song in the car. I'm alcohol. I hate that song. That song's ridiculous. It makes no sense to me. But I think she's pretty damn dope. I think what you've seen is that you watched a 15-year-old girl grow up, and now she's 36, and now she is into more concerning things. And so of course, when she came out with Bills, that was what was going on in her life. She was talking about life as a teen. She wanted a shorty who was going to take care of her, not cheat on her, and pay for her cell phone bill. Okay. But now she's grown up into a woman and life has happened to her. And now she's making real music that really concerns her. She talks about her real life. She talks about her real relationship. She talks about being a mom. She talks about black girl magic. She talks about like the
Some
realness
of
of
that stuff I
like,
agree with,
but
I
think that's real. I don't think she's a bandwagon jumper. I think if she was, she would probably be doing more. She could be a far more like black activist if she wanted to. I think she's being herself.
I think like the things about motherhood, the things about being cheated on, like you said, that's just a maturation and growth for the woman that she's become. But like having the HBCUs and stuff. When did you see an HBCU with Beyonce in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14,
But what's wrong with her
15,
now? She has
16.
children. She has children that are now. But listen, she has children that are growing up, and she wants to be a role model for her own children. And wouldn't you want to say to your children that when shit started hitting the fan, Trump was our fucking president, and you was just kicking it with Barack? And remember, they're really close with the Obamas. Yeah. So you was just kicking it with them. You on some black consciousness and like, what can we do for black people around the world? And all of a sudden, Trump's your fucking president. And I feel like she's using her fame the way she should. I feel like there's not enough artists who are speaking to the fact that police are killing black people, especially black men, left and right every day, and we should be applauding her for saying something about it rather than turning our nose and being like she's a bandwagon jumper. Because where is Mos Def? Where is Talib Kweli? Are they making enough songs about it? But I'm saying, and real shit, Lauryn Hill, you're coming back out. What are you saying about what's really going on? She over here taking the time to talk about fucking Drake when she could be saying, hey, stop shooting black people.
And I'll say this as an artist, I think, because maybe that's where I started from. But also I have to say this as a disclaimer, to be fair, I think every generation pulls a little bit from, I think the great thing about music is like J. Cole got enlightened at, let's say, like 25. You know, so that allowed me, it's a 10-year gap between us, for me to start getting those ideas and concepts in my mind at 15. So by the time I turn 20, I reach back and now I put it in 10-year-old's mind. And by the time they become 15, they put it in a 5-year-old's mind. By the time they become 10, you know, like it works back that way. So I think that's one great thing. And like you said, I definitely think she is. I'm glad that she's going in the direction because, like you said, she could just be completely like, oh, have fun, crazy, crazy, crazy. So you're right. I am grateful for that. I just think sometimes, and like I said, just a little disclaimer, just my own opinion. Sometimes I just hate when it's disingenuous. I hate when people, because
what makes you feel like it's disingenuous?
And when you broke it down like that, I like I said, when you break it down like that, I understand where you're coming from. I agree with, and now I'm kind of off the subject of Beyonce. I'm just saying, period. As an artist, you know, the meat and potatoes, the heart of my artistry is about people. It's about the people, and that's how I came out the gate. From the very beginning, it was about people. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've been lucky enough to have artists in front of me as role models that were for the people. Mm-hmm. You feel me? But, and I just said Beyonce because that's the first person that popped in my mind on a mega level, but just period. How you see guys and it's like, bro, all right, bro, we're going to make a Black Power song. And then you back to talking about Molly and Kush and you on your Instagram with guns and stuff like that. Like, one thing I said about Beyonce is she, like you said, she's a grown woman. So it's not she's like Black Power and then someone falling out drunk. That I can respect. Mm-hmm. And
I think where you are saying like maybe all of a sudden it seems like that, I think that also could be the fact that they don't let her and Jay-Z up until just now recently, they don't reveal a lot of their personal life. True. So people like to fill in the gaps of what they think they're like. Oh, I think they're like this, because you have no idea, because they don't sit down and they don't have interviews and they don't go on TV shows. Or if they do, you know that they've given them that approved list of, you can talk about my album, you can talk about the happiness of my marriage, and you can talk about how cute my baby is. And they don't allow you to say, well, what happened with that cheating thing, like whatever. So I said that because I brought this up to Swamp, like I think it was last week, where we talked about, if you've seen on Netflix is killing it, first of all. I
love it.
Netflix is everything. You can just cut regular TV off except for NBA and just watch Netflix. But David Letterman has this new show where he sits down with all of his favorite guests, and Jay-Z is one of his favorite guests. Now, I was all
I want to see it. My mom said it.
Absolutely, it's excellent.
It's really good.
And I'm not going to tell you too much so that you enjoy it, but like what I loved about it is he doesn't sit down. He doesn't have interviews, but he's very clear, and he says that with David Letterman. David Letterman says, like, you know, let me know if we get to something that that you don't want to talk about? And he's like, oh, Dave, you know, it's not a problem. It's definitely going to go down. Like, I will definitely let you know. I'll just be like, Dave, like, but he does bring up the cheating thing in a like very crafty, like respectful kind of way. And he answers him very honest, but also, you know, in a Jay-Z slick kind of way. Like, I'm not going to tell you too much, but basically, I made a terrible mistake. I love my wife, and these are all the things that I'm going to have to do to repair our relationship and the things that we've had to do.
When I get off of it, or we'll get off of it, I'm going to have to show you another Jay-Z interview where he talks about the cheating thing. For he doesn't give out name or necessarily details, but he talks about going to therapy. He just... A lot more than what you think. Like, Jay-Z's mom is a lesbian. I never knew that.
Oh, yeah, he says that.
He said in another interview. This is a black dude who interviewed him. Yeah, that's what he said, how'd you know? He said, my mom just, he said, we're growing up in a different time and age, and now that we're not kids anymore, she said she could just be more open with me because my mom's my friend. So definitely, I think the reason why I accept Jay-Z's a little bit more, his transition, like, this is unbelievable because you can see Jay-Z slowly but surely. From the time he got into the rap game, he was like, I was a drug dealer, and now I'm growing into this businessman. But that's been the theme of his thing the whole time. Like,
what's his name? Said the same thing. He made a great point yesterday. Scrape. He said, we talked about Jay-Z a little bit yesterday. He said that Reasonable Doubt was the best album of all time because he said everything that he's doing now is what he wanted to do in that first album. And everything in that first album talks about what he was going to do. And he did it. He did just that.
Reasonable Doubt had a big impact, bro.
It was huge. And he was a great. I didn't even think about it like that. And it made me go back last night and listen to some of the songs. Yeah. Well, I had the album, of course. So I was like, man, you know what? He's absolutely right. But when I got it, I mean, I was a teenager, so of course I wasn't digging that deep anyway.
Oh, I love that album.
But now, man, I mean, it's you got it.
Yeah,
it's great.
Impact on me for real. That Reasonable Doubt, just because it was the first time I heard somebody rap like that, and it was crazy, bro. Like, I didn't even know I wanted to be a rapper, but it was like, yo, this the truth, bro.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Juice. Are you able to pull up? Because every time I try to pull up Gmail, I freeze. Can you pull up the Breaking Ground Gmail? We're gonna have to play the songs off of that.
Okay.
We'll take a quick break. We'll get that together, and we'll just take a quick break in general because everybody's been talking a lot, which is great. We love it. So we'll just get a little breath of fresh air. Here's Bad Waves, man. My Wave. Shout out to GRG. Sheena's boy Judah God, man, was out of town doing some work.
Yeah.
So shout out to GRG, man. That's where they're at, Atlanta. That's what's up, man. That boy Drew had that orange jumpsuit. You know what I mean? So let's go, man. Bad Waves. My Wave. Breaking Ground Radio. We'll be right back with Deuce.
Yeah. All I really wanna do is ride my way. Yeah. All I really wanna do is ride my way. Yeah. Young nigga on my way. Yeah, all I really wanna do is ride my way. Okay, now let's get it poppin'. What you own, let me stop it. You throw it back like an option, and I caught it like a Hopkins. Big ol' booty, yeah, speed it up. I'm really tryna beat it up. Hot nigga, yeah, I'm heating up. Rapping spirit, got the zippy tuck. Oh yeah, make way again. Hell yeah, I'm on my shit again. Young goat on the break again. Young Steph with the deck. Hell yeah, I'm automatic. Spit crack like an addict. Black boy with the magic, the greatest shit you could imagine. Yeah, all I really wanna do is ride my way. Yeah, all I really wanna do is ride my way. Yeah, young nigga on my way. Yeah, all I really wanna do is ride my way. Everything trail, my rap's only to survive to the ear, like a fracture cronies. You don't see, man, you gotta feel me. I'm killing really. This Bobby Kobe, down for the work, you should ought to know me. I'm the only one, man, call me Obi. And I gave you power, man, now you owe me. Man, you owe me. Back in the game where I started at. You're school, nigga, I'm the guy to that. All I do is rap, what's wrong with that? When I do it for the squad, I'm the heart of that. I'm the quarterback, the running back, the rap singer, the other rap singer that grew at my defense. And this bad piece is my shit. Later, you come out, niggas need rent.
ringleaders. I scored big up the lead glitter. I love money, I'm a dream eater. Her pops kitchen, I'm a fiend winner. Fiend winner, this nice summer. It's us and them and they outnumber. Yeah, but they outnumber. Yeah. Young legend, yeah. All I really wanna do is ride my way. Yeah, all I really wanna do is ride my way. Yeah, young nigga, on my way. Yeah, all I really wanna do is ride my way. Yeah, all I really wanna do is ride my way. Yeah, all I really wanna do is ride my way. Yeah, young nigga, on my way. Yeah, all I really wanna do is ride my way.
For more tea.
On my way.
Wait, you put my notes. Shut up. No. First of all, she better than me because them motherfucking pants would be in the trash.
Like,
you only know that because you know what it looks like. Like, you better get a research ASAP because that shit would be in the garbage. Come on.
Man like to play.
Bust it open for me.
Your niggas talking bad, I'm worth a couple $100,000. Got some bitches about me, man, they know I stay stellar. You niggas talking beef, done my own niggas wildin'. Hopping out the bushes with them motherfucking choppers. All in sex fest, spending money, I ain't browsing. Yeah, I fucked your bitch, pussy wetter than a fountain. I throw it on the scale, cause I got too much to count it. And I sell bills, bitch, I copped it from the mountains. All I ever wanted was the money and the power. Yeah, one day, cuz turned me on the powder. In the middle of the hood, dropping in Balenciagas. I'ma look good, just in case the fans watching.
Whoa, 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 oh my, whoa, whoa, whoa,
I got it out the mud and nobody did it for me. Young nigga trapping, got the 30 in the 40. If you want them, get them shooting shit like rubber water. That yellow bad shit, bust it open for me. Young hood nigga, man, I got it up the muscle. When I pull up 100,000 in a double. We don't do meals, so I tell the blood to trouble. When them chickens come, you know a nigga gon' plug them. Your baby mama on me, yeah, you know I'm gon' fuck her. But you gon' take her back and cuff her, nigga, you a sucker. Fam like the gang, I don't know them niggas tough for when I murder shit. Make a nigga mama so hard. Roll 989, black down. Blue flags, red flags, both sides. Roll 989, black down. Cut the lights on.
and it's lights out. Whoa, 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 oh my, whoa, 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 oh my.
I got it up and know that nobody did it for me. Young niggas rapping, got the 30 in the 40. If you want to beat them, shoot your shit like rubber boy. That yellow bad shit, bust it open for me. Oh my God, whoa, God, whoa, God, oh my God, whoa, God, oh my.
Breaking Ground Radio, a local mainstream collab, man. DJ Swamp Thing, man. We back in this building, man. That was the homie, Lil D, man. What's up, bro? We're gonna talk to you in a hot minute, man. Holla at us. The song is called "Oh Man." We back, man. Tiffany L in the building, Whitney Chanel in the building, the homie Deuce. We still rocking with the homie in here. You know, and conversation's definitely been real, man. That's what we were looking for today, man. We appreciate Deuce chiming in, man, and kicking it with us. Yeah, I mean, so excuse me. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna get into the tracks that you did send to us and everything. We got Tiffany's over there with them ready to go. What's the first out of the two?
Still a classic.
Okay, so Still a Classic. Talk about that a little bit. How did that come up? Who produced it? All that good jazz.
So Still a Classic, man. Like I said, my last time I was up here, I told you I was Still a Classic. How it was a completely different beat, and my producer Jesse Jeremiah stripped the whole beat down to pretty much just the drums. I said, all right, I'm feeling that. And then, you know, he added a couple more things. I'm like, bet. I was like, bro, that's perfect. He said, bro, I got to add something else in there, bro. I got to be some type of string element or something. Mm-hmm. So he added the piano in there, and it really set it over the top. So when this project came around, I liked how people really love Still a Classic, and I loved It's a Classic. And so I thought that was going to be the standout track on this project, but I seen that other songs people really liked, but for me, Still a Classic, I had to put it on there because I felt like it didn't get its just due when I did it the first time, just because the position I was in as an artist. Because like I said, when you first met me, it's kind of like, man, when you're watching a sport and somebody's a really good athlete, but they don't know how to play the game. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I feel like I had a gift for music and rap, but I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know anything about rollouts and the proper promo and things like that. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of stuff that could have been bigger wasn't. So I was like, man, I got to bring classic back, and that's why it's called Still a Classic, man, because I brought it back. And it's definitely got a different vibe to it in terms of the content, same beat, but I just really want to do a part two, kind of like you see a lot of artists did in the 1990s, man, Dead Presidents Part 2, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's kind of how that came about, man. Still a classic.
No doubt. Well, we're going to run that. As soon as that's over, we'll come back and have you introduce the second one as well. Then we'll finish up our conversation, and then we got a new joint from the homie Xavion. If y'all remember him, he stopped by a couple, was it been 2 weeks now? Or was it last week?
Last week.
Okay. So he came back last week, man, and hollered at us, man. That was the second time we ran into him because he definitely showed love for the open house as well. So we'll play that towards the end of the show. But here's It's a Classic, man, the homie Deuce. We'll be right back.
First off, just a producer. I'm tired of these motherfucking local niggas charging other local niggas for features. Fuck out of here, man. Tired of niggas taking other people's hooks and putting it in their songs. Still a classic, the days of our lives. Still a classic, the days of our lives. Still a classic, the days of our lives. Still a classic, which means I'm better than your average. Here to put these rappers in the casket. I'm talking to you future rap bastards who watch while the games goes Casper. Tired of these all lives matter. Ain't no equal even on the sequel. Daddy was the prequel, fighting in the Eagles, grinding when the shit was legal. Feeling like I'm Sequel Benny with the can of beans. Pretty money hungry, eating for my fucking team. Couldn't find the time to spit the lines, now I own the clock. Niggas stop balling, but they on the rock. Stumble on the blocks, neighbors carry Glocks. For the corners where they shut up shop. Niggas actors getting buried with their props. Raise the stock and put it on the market, shoot. Cause it's off target, long way from where we started. No time for garbage. Marvin the Martian, I've been chilling in a different space. Niggas be guilty, you put it on a different case. Same issue, different face. Flowers with a shower in the vase. Keep it straight, that's the hook, line, and sinker. Another ringer, just for the dreamer. Blunt, cheap Stanley Steamer. A fresh cut, no Caesar. So fires either pick me out like a tweezer, I step it up like a sneaker. I'm my city's Derek Jeter. No matter what you gon' beat us, we start the hardest. Born in the 90s, so we go the hardest. This the farthest niggas been for wins. Jewels on my mind like the Sims. Hold a Tim, man, don't call me that. That new shit, don't call it rap. A feature, man, don't call me back. Key to flipping package, knowing that it's cracked. Still chasing what I like, so I'm on another lap. Then this verse is snap. Hook, fade, and go to black. Killing them, I laid the trap. This was something extra, nigga, go enjoy the snack. You ain't hear that real rap was back. Still a classic, the days of our lives. Still a classic, the days of our lives. Still a classic. The days of our lives. Still a classic. The days of our lives. Pretty money, motherfucker.
Breaking Ground Radio, we back, man. That was still a classic, right? I almost just say classic.
Yeah. Man, sometimes, man, it's funny because I hear that beat and I'm like, all right, I'll get ready to perform. It's a classic,
right?
And that's a completely different song. And I catch myself, bro. Like something reminds me, like, bro, this ain't the same song, bro. Because you know the other one starts out, bro. And, you know, Jelly and the Pistol, you be lucky if it would jam. Like I be about to say that. And I be having to remember, like, bro, two different songs, though.
Yeah, I definitely like that, man. That's definitely a banger for real, man. So the next one is called what? The next one, you remember the next
On my
song?
side.
What'd you say? From, oh, is that?
Oh, yeah, we already played it.
Okay, because you changed the name, you
That's
said.
what I got on here.
Yeah, no,
yeah. But you didn't change the name, you just shortened it.
Yeah, it's the same song. Dang, bro.
That's what's up. That's okay.
You got any instrumentals or something, bro?
You trying to rhyme?
You know how I speak for you,
bro. Do that real quick.
When in doubt, bro, you know I bring the words out.
We got time. We can do that for a second. Let me grab some real quick here.
You know when in doubt, I spit the words.
While I'm looking for something, Whitney, plug your show.
Yeah, 2 for 1. Wednesdays, every Wednesday from 7 to 9 here at WTMH. You know, DJ Swamp on the boards. We just discuss relationships and, you know, stuff that goes on. And, you know, for a single lady out here, table for one. So that's every Wednesday.
No doubt.
We had our first little giveaway yesterday. It was successful.
The journal. I like that. That was
cute. Definitely. So I got that and I'm going to be sending it out to the lovely listener that won that. Yeah,
it was definitely a good time yesterday, man. We had a blast.
I got a question. Can you win if you actually on the show?
No.
Because you're technically listening.
No.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to get people to weigh in. I'm trying to decide because I was going to do like some tickets to the Marlon Wayans show.
Oh, I might not show up for all, but I might just call in like, hello.
I was going to give away tickets.
Did I win? Did I win?
Like, you know, like I just want to get people interested in the show. So definitely get people to tune in to my show, tune in to this show. You know.
Miss Swamp was talking about that, and I think the biggest thing, and I'm gonna be on your show next week,
the week after.
Week after that, but. One thing I'm trying to do with my platform is get people used to listening to these radio shows, listening to these podcasts, to realize that that's part of our culture now too. But like, not only is it rapping and not only is it throwing shows, but we're getting black information or just urban information, man, from different sources. You know, people get tired of hearing the same old industry, you know, whatever it is. I don't even listen to radio anymore. But these podcasts, man, are it's diversity, but it's different blends of music. You know, Swamp's not going to play the same song twice as opposed to you're going to hear the same song throughout the week from Monday to Sunday. Right. You know, so these podcasts are a great opportunity, man, for artists to get up here, man, and being able to have a platform. But also, it's a great opportunity just for listeners, man, to, you know, hear something a little bit different, something off the cuff. You know, I just think it's a lot of culture going on in Columbus, and I think people need to start taking more notice of it.
No doubt. I definitely agree with that, man. I definitely agree with that. So, all right, so we'll do a couple minutes, man. I got a couple joints on here.
Good.
Go ahead. I'm going to just mix them up.
So you going to throw them up like 5 seconds left, or what are you doing?
I'm going to freestyle too?
I'm going to just, no. Well, I'm going to just throw them at you. You know, what do you call it? 5? I never heard that one.
You never heard that when he got the 5 beats and he play them and they just cut out and you got to keep rapping?
Okay, yeah, so that's what I'll do. I'm going to do like just 3 beats, though. So
all right, that's cool.
So we'll do that and then we'll rap, right? So here we go. That's the first one. Can you hear it?
No, I can hear it.
Why can't you hear it?
Tell me up.
Everybody can hear it except you?
I can't hear it.
You can't hear it? Nope.
That's what I'm meant to freestyle.
Hold on.
I'm just playing.
What about that? Oh, you got to put your headphones on. That's why.
No, you had them on.
Oh, you did? Can you hear now? Well, put Whitney's headphones on.
I'm trying to stop my freestyle.
I'll start it over.
I used to rap.
Oh, shit. I got to flip it over.
There you go.
All right. I don't know if I'm gonna go fast or slow on this.
Turn it up a little bit too.
You're gonna have to rock the headphone to the side.
Okay, I didn't turn it up on it.
Smoking was a good and I was chillin', I was kidding. Niggas fucking pussy till they over Liberty Club, hooky up the schoolyard, niggas be in school guards. They better than that, better than that. Niggas wanna talk about tracks, but they ain't running with me young. Just see O's where I'm blowing, man. They think that I've been blowing, man. It's something like a plant. Niggas got me out here, ATL, young ants. And the flow going slow, but a nigga out here, and this shit ain't half blow. I ain't toying with you niggas, matter of fact, man. I ain't out here shady McCoy with you niggas. In other words, got you tripped. Niggas real sick and niggas, why they call me hoops. Just the proof on the truth, raise the roof. On the top, like the French, you can smell the stench. I told these niggas, put the fingers together, it's not a pinch, man. It's time grabbing the money. This shit is sweet as honey, man. They think this shit is funny. Never good. One is good, nigga. Now I'm coming out 1 to 10. That's the siblings. Okay, different beat, but
get you ready for that one.
I got my mind on the money. Young nigga been hungry, crashed into a lot of shit, man. You think that I'm dummy? I was trying to get the bread, man. I seen it was crummy. Told these niggas right now, man, we cross me the slums, B. And I ain't talking New York, I'm talking about blood, I'm talking blatant. These niggas mad I'm hotter than Satan. Why they been waiting? I tell them that I serve them, I got it. These niggas out here tripping, man. I'm delivering product and I ain't talking drugs. Love a nigga, but they ain't giving hugs. I remember nights getting bit by them fucking bugs. Watch your bed, watch your head. So these niggas out here, every day is cold red. So I'ma get it no matter how I been living. They mad cause pussy wet. And young boys been swimming, it ain't summertime. Niggas dropping dimes and I ain't barely had change. I told these niggas out here, I'm Marcus Houston up in the rain. You got served, you motherfuckers and turds looking at you other pussies. I tell these niggas right now, I don't need no fucking hook B. I ain't never been fishing. Tell these niggas out right now, I'm probably been winning. Hey,
keep going.
You stop the beat.
No, keep going. Oh yeah.
Hey, okay.
Delay. Hey, rock with this. It's the last one, so we go hard.
No, you can go. Let this one play back. Cause this motherfucker hard as hell.
Yeah.
I said nothing while I'm bucking. Young nigga wasn't fucking, but I came up on my own shit. Now I'm on some grown shit. To be honest, I had promised niggas mad at me. I'm going hard like some fucking Onyx. That be rock on the block. I be on the top. Niggas wanna set up shop. The problem is some clothes. Niggas out here open. Shrek, this ain't Disney or no Nickelodeon. I told these niggas, man, they salty. People check they sodium. I've been on the podium. Nigga, that's a presidential. And you know, I'm the king. Step into my residential. That's Southside. When niggas go outside, you talk shit. And we gon' probably bust that fucking mouth. Why? You know I get it. I gotta hit it like Sosa up in the night. Tell these niggas right now, I ain't never sitting on the pine doing time, nigga. I ain't talking about a silver way. I give them bars, nigga. You would think you was for him, cause I'm hotter than the devil. Young rebel that never settled. Call me black nigga like my mama's kettle. Popping cars, nigga, I'm Jason Bourne assassin. Killing these niggas, I raised the game, that's all Madden. Never sleep on a nigga, I ain't going with no satin. The thread count was low, and now I'm about to blow. I do this shit every day, nigga, this is not the show. I tell them, green light on competition, let's go. Blatantly, niggas how I do. Fuck your whole food. Let these niggas know I'm out with it. I'll be old school, serving these niggas gang. The flame got propane, the damn shame like I'm banging range. They wanna talk about things, but I've been up all night. Bitch been tight, cause I ain't been home yet. Tell these niggas right now, I'm probably on that offset to the offset, young Nego. Niggas out here got the queen girl fighting over me, impossible when she go. Don't stroke my ego, niggas sipping on Tampico every morning while I'm yawning, and I'm fucking drawn up with another master plan. 5 fingers in my hand, so when I close the bitch, man, you know it's over shit. I been had it, never grabbed it from another nigga, I ain't had to steal it. Give it to me once and I'ma fucking kill it. I'm a villain, I've been chillin', colder than them polar bears. Told these niggas cut me up, something like them Ingram heads. I don't even know, I'm spitting like a pro. I just need to stop, I tell them right now, on any block, I could really rock, but I ain't serving boat. Tell them man I'm hanging with the flow, like the fucking Pope. Nigga crack it open like a fresh Coke. We all
that rock, man. That's what's up. There you have it, man. The homeboy Dukes, man. Freestyle 101. the first thing on Breaking Ground. That might be the first freestyle we've had, I think, on the show. I don't think we've had nobody rock the freestyle.
I think I freestyle last time I came up for you. Like I said, I didn't plan on doing it, bro, because we had a track. So I'm like, yeah. Track went out. I'm like, yeah. That's what's up.
I'm going to freestyle next.
But freestyling was kind of how I came up. Like I said, it was a long time where I couldn't write songs, bro, because I was just used to getting a beat that wasn't mine, rapping over it, kind of subconsciously putting words together, bro, but never thought about putting songs together. So that's one thing I'm proud about in this project is I do have hooks. And I've done some really good jobs on the hooks. I feel like, some ones that I put together, some song concepts. And this whole project, this is the concept of it, the beats, making it I think this is the first time I've really put together a project from scratch and been like, yo, I'm very proud of this. And it's went through different changes, man, but I'm super excited about it. It's coming out June 2nd, man. I think it's going to be real dope. I think a lot of people going to like it.
I can't wait, man. Send it to my email as soon as you can. You know what I mean? So we can start plugging it. You know what I mean? Definitely. We got about 10 minutes, man. I wanted to get into the whole Kanye thing and all of that good stuff, but I know we're all gonna because we're all gonna have very strong opinions, and it's not gonna last. It's gonna last a lot more than 10 minutes.
Right? But, don't do it.
I just say pray for the brother. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not catering what he's saying to anything. I'm not saying it's mental. I'm not saying it's promotional. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying.
I think Kanye's being Kanye right now, and I'm not saying that what he's saying is necessarily right.
I'm not saying anything.
I think he's just saying the wrong things because he's not articulating himself. Because some of the stuff he said is not necessarily that I agree with, but I could see him be like, all right, if you would have said, would have went into a little more detail, then that would probably make sense. But you just say it and think we're going to get exactly what you're trying to say. So it's like, yo, slavery was a choice. Like, you made me try to say people should have revolted a lot sooner, because at the end of the day, when we got done being slaves, got tired of it, we start revolting, but that was a whole system cast down on us. So for a long time, people just thought slavery was a way of life. They didn't even think past, like, yo, we want to be free. Probably the first couple 100 years, or the first 100 years was like, yo, this is just the way it is. We came here, this is how it is. Because that's what they did. They broke us down, disconnected us from our heritage. They made us feel like we were less than, and then somebody was like, yo, we not less than, we equal to, and then progressively we grew, we start working towards that. So if Kanye may have went into like detail like that, agree.
No, disagree.
This is exactly why I said I didn't want to go into it, because we don't have time for all this shit.
Because
you got her on there.
To your point about like we could have revolted sooner. The whole point of us not being able to revolt was because we couldn't communicate, because they separated us from people that we could communicate with. They didn't just put you next to somebody they stole from.
I agree. That's what I said. That was the whole point.
They put you next to somebody that you couldn't speak to. Like, literally, I'm talking to you and you're hearing Chinese. So therefore, I can't say, hey, nigga, on three, let's get this.
No, and I think I articulated, they were, like I said, when they broke us up, it wasn't just, like I said, Kanye, just that one thing shouldn't have been said in the interview. If you're going to say something like that, you need to sit down and 2 hours explain so we can have this conversation like this. Because like I said, I agree. It was a whole system they set up. Slavery wasn't just, we're going to grab 50 people from the same tribe and bring them over to one place and y'all going to work for us. No, they probably the bill whooping ass. But it was, like you said, they took people from different countries in Africa. It was a whole way to break us down and break us.
But it wasn't even just like, okay, we're gonna kill you for trying to get away. It's, I'm going to kill your child. I'm going to rape her right in front of you. And then, after a while, you're not going to say, you're going to do whatever NASA says because you don't want your kid raped, stabbed, and then sold. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's really what it is. They had enough to hold over us that was why. Like, I just feel like that was such a callous statement for him to make. Exactly. And how dare he make such a statement while he sits in his fucking mansion sipping goddamn champagne on a fucking like we're drinking Kool-Aid.
Kissing on the white girl.
Like what a privileged ass thing to say. Listen. And I think if he was still down in the depths of Chicago with everybody else, all these people that he talks about and that he worked so hard at the very beginning to go hard in the paint for, I think he needs a reminder of his fucking roots. Like, he talked about Chicago and he brought that shit up. But only to say, but in Chicago we have all this black on black crime. Like, I could have jumped through the TV and smacked that nigga in the face.
I agree with you, but it's kind of like when you're dealing with fire, sometimes it warms your house, sometimes it burns you down. Because everybody was rooting when Kanye was like, George Bush don't love black people. Black people was like, what the hell did Kanye just do? It was so absurd and crazy, but it was for us. Now the flip side of that, he's doing. Like I said, you're right. It was a callous statement to make, especially with no context behind it.
But who is this for? Who is this statement meant to help? No one. Nobody but the white people who are like, yeah, we said slavery was a good thing. We said it was for you. We was just trying to save you. And that is what the fuck they think. And now we've got another shucking and jiving ass nigga who is jumping on their fucking bandwagon. That's how I felt. I wanted to punch this nigga in his fucking throat. Like, who are you and what did you just do and why would you think that wouldn't set us back? And not set us back in the sense that it really changes anybody's minds. Like, it's not, but it gives validation to the wrong fucking people who are already thinking shitty things about us. Now, one of their own is saying this about him, and he used to be pro-black, and look at him, he's for us now. Like, that's how I feel like they took that.
I agree with you, but I'll say this about those people. You give them an inch, they're going to take them out. Whatever happened, Kanye even didn't have to say that, but they was going to think slavery was great for us, and they was going to find a way. It's so crazy how the media flips things. And I'm not doing, like I said, once again, I'm taking this from Kanye for a second. The media will flip things, and I'll say, you know what? I hate nigga shit. And they will turn it into Deuce said he hates niggas. And that'll be it. That's all you hear. You feel me? So like I said, Kanye West, if he's going to say that, needs to put it in better context. So there's not no way for people to flip it and be able to say, Kanye said this now.
He should sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up because nobody knows what he's talking about. This nigga is clearly on drugs. He looks odd. Does everybody notice that his speech pattern is way different than it normally used to be? Like, he seems odd. Like, he seems physically off. And I know some people don't want to jump to the conclusion, like, and say it's his mental health. It's definitely this nigga's mental health. Something is fucking wrong with him. Something, he seems like he is on drugs or should be on drugs, and there ain't something is not lining up. And he did admit that they put him on drugs that he is not taking the way he should be taking. Does that mean you're taking too much? Does that mean you're taking too little? What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean you chop it up with cocaine?
This is when he made a project called Jesus. Like, when he said, you see, people like now Kanye tripping. When that nigga called himself Jesus, but that's why I started looking back like, you tripping.
But isn't there a real disorder where you have a heightened self-image of yourself?
I think that's more common than...
But it's not just narcissism. It's like, there's like an actual disorder. It's called HP something or whatever. It's called something.
I think it's very common.
And I feel like Trump has it, and that is why these niggas get along. Like, if we're talking about people and why they're vibing, all of a sudden, I think these niggas sat down, had a conversation like, I think I'm the shit. Oh, I think I'm the shit. Oh, look at us. We both the shit. Oh, we both are responsible for making America great again. Like, I think these fools really sit around and think that stupid shit. And that's what I think.
Swamp, and that's why we need to have that conversation. Because this is what podcasts is for, bro.
Drop mic.
For moments like that. Flat out.
I'm staying out of it.
You do what you want. My thoughts are all over Facebook.
I choose to stay out of it.
No, I mean, but here's the thing. And the thing I love is that she was very upfront about it, how she felt. And a lot of people could have sat. One thing I hate is when people kowtow to artists or kowtow to us. Like, she was like, yo, I said how I felt. She said bullshit. We had a conversation about it. Hopefully I have her respect because she definitely has mine. And that's what these are about. Dude, that's what this podcast is about.
Absolutely.
I need more than 5 minutes.
I absolutely respect everything you say. I want
you should have a round table.
I want some. I can't remember who it was, but if you haven't heard, remember I told you to listen to the Charlemagne Breakfast Club thing. So Charlemagne had actually, before he started making all these crazy rants 3 weeks ago, he had like the end of April, he had an interview with him. It hadn't aired by the time that he started doing these crazy rants. So then I heard the clips or whatever. Well, when T.I. heard the crazy shit that he was saying, then T.I. was like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, no, like, da-da-da. Then, of course, this is based on the crazy shit he's already said. Yeah. Now he's come out and said some more crazy shit. And they have this. Have you heard the song between T.I. and Kanye?
Well, no, I haven't, but I've heard about it.
That song is dope. And basically, it's almost like the two of them having a conversation, him saying to him, like, dude, what the fuck are you on? And Kanye saying something crazy, and T.I. being like, hold up. And what he said further in the interview, which I loved so much to T.I.'s credit, was he said, like, he feels like exactly kind of what you're saying, that Kanye needs a translator, that Kanye is trying to say something that may be profound, but it gets all locked up and
I'm
Kanye behind.
genius.
But maybe to an extent, if he's not a genius, maybe he's autistic. Something's going on in his head that we can't always communicate the same way that Kanye does. Unless that's what I'm saying. But my brother has Asperger's, and we call it cheeseburgers. That's horrible. Horrible, I know. But we're a bad family. We make fun of each other.
But what I thought was awesome is because we know T.I. is very conscious, and he also is very like call a nigga out. Like he loves to do that, and I respect him.
He's articulate about it.
I love that he does that because I feel like he is saying like, hold me accountable, or just how y'all hold me accountable, I will hold y'all accountable because we're out here supposed to be representing Black culture, Black history, Black people, and he's not doing a good job of it. Let me jump in and say, hey, bro, what were you trying to say? Because right now people are not feeling you at all. And I thought it was cool that he still took some ownership and some love for him rather than instantly just disregarding him as, I don't know what this man talking about.
Did you hear what Kanye said? And he
must really be a really heartfelt, emotional, loved person with a lot of friends. There's a lot of people I feel like have come out, not to his defense, but have come out to say something like, he's actually okay. You just don't understand what he's trying to say. And I think that that's interesting coming from some of the different celebrities that it's coming from.
Yeah. I want to make sure we play Xavion's song. You have it pulled up?
Oh, word.
And then we'll get out of here. While she's doing that, dudes, give you social media, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, man, it's No LaFell on everything, bro. So it's No LaFell on Instagram, No Room, the number 2 Fail. And on SoundCloud, there's No Room 2 Fail. Same way, just No Room 2 Fail. But if you type in and Google No Room 2 Fail, it's one word. Then you'll be able to find me. I'm probably the first 9 things that pop up. Like I said, thank you for having me on. Not legit, because and that's the thing, and we could talk about that all day. But that's the thing about I'm going to try to use my platform to teach artists and show artists things that have been shown to me. Because I feel like too many people put a ladder up, but stuff like I think it's called your SEO. Pretty much, if I type you in Google. If I type in DJ Swamp, will you be the first person to pop up? That's the goal, is to be so you got to find keywords and names and phrases. Yeah. No LaFell just happened to be something I've been doing for 3 years.
Absolutely.
And so optimization.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so but stuff like that, the podcast, SEOs, with the listener session. Somebody came up and was like, bro, I never thought about sitting down, playing the song, not performing, just playing the song and breaking it down track by track.
Right.
He said, I never thought about that, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get artists to think, bro, and open up the culture.
No doubt. Well, you got our full support, man. Whatever it is that you need from us, man, let's get it. You know what I mean? Whitney, what's your social?
Well, Miss Whitney Chanel, at Miss Whitney Chanel on Instagram. Whitney Chanel on Facebook. Pussy's with me.
You're so cute.
I was like, damn.
I need to get one of those.
Listen, I don't want to say that because I'm sliding the DMs and I'm being the next one. So.
My social media on Facebook is Tioko?
Yes,
no, it's Tiffany L on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
Tiffany L, TIFFANYEL. And then on Instagram, because some fool won't give me my name, is TIELCO.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, coming up next is who's next track? Xavion. Yeah.
So I'm trolling the girl that.
We all gas, no brakes like Midas on a Sunday. Enjoy your day off, barbershops on a Monday. The Al crowd, I'm in with them. It's no biggie. I'm Big Papa, just a notorious big synonym. We off the wall, trust the process. Now we're shopping sprees for the kids in the projects. We use that step and we ballin'. Past the Spalding. Rajon Rondo to the cousins and the Rollins. Swish. Now the score's going up. When the dollar signs increase, all the scores showing up. I see you watching me, I'm watching you too. Take that pair of lesbians and we can blow a couple too. Me and the few bring your crew to the Waffle House. Your city's more for a night, bring the coffins out. Shots on call, off the wall. Engine running well, I just needed the top of y'all. Step on a new scene in the crowd with the homies leaning on and up the wall. Let the leaders looking good, tripping smack shots falling on the floor. My God, how could anyone imagine with all this interaction that you are on the lead? Gotta get it.